Down in the valley where the girls get naked. If you throwing bands, then you know she gonna take it. Hey, what's up, y'all? This is Ty. I am here to review season 4. Oh, hold on. Not season 4. I'm sorry. Season 2, episode 4 of P.Valley. Listen, all that booty and them fine women got me all discombobulated, so I'm mixing it up. Not season 4, season 2, episode 4 of P.Valley. And tonight's episode is titled Demethrius. But before I get into that, I gotta give a shout out to my lovely subscribers that be holding a brother down in the comment section. Y'all making his channel go and grow and grow, and I do so very much appreciate that. I'm talking about folks like Savannah Rivers, Amore Dupree, Lamont Simpson, R.C. Kroger, House of Sir James. Isn't that a cool name? House of Sir James. Karima Khadija, Tanae C. But that's none of my business. I like that name too. Tia Divine, Penny Atif. Did I say June BLC? And all the rest of the lovely people. Thank you. I do appreciate it. Now let's get right down to this review. So we see the club is popping, and there's this one lady who is enjoying herself. She's having herself a good old time. And the whole time that she's carrying on, I'm looking at her and I'm like, where do I know her from? And she was making me laugh because she was overdoing it. She was a little too hyped. She in the club, she was enjoying herself and really enjoying herself up until the part where the stripper that she was dealing with, Toy, sneezed on her. And you know, that's nasty. That is nasty for somebody to sneeze on you, especially in these COVID times, you know? And it was like, but even before COVID, you sneezed on me, ugh. Because when that happened, and then they did the slow motion of the sneeze, and you see it landing in Lauren's face, I got nauseous. I was like, oh, I laughed though, but I was like, because it reminded me of this time when this girl who had very bad breath, this time I swallowed somebody's breath. Let me tell you. Well, I know y'all saying, do that even make sense? How do you swallow someone's breath? I'm going to tell you. The girl was all up in my face, and you know, people with bad breath love to be all up in your face, all close. I mean, all up in my face. She's all up in my face, and her funky breath like got into my mouth. I swallowed her breath, and I tasted her breath. So it was like, oh. So that's what that scene reminded me of, the being sneezed on. I was like, oh, it was so disgusting. And Lauren flipped out. She goes to the microphone. She's like, listen, we shutting this place down. She clearly works for the Department of Health or whatever. She's like, we're shutting this place down. Y'all are in violation. Now she see all the violations. Before that, she saw nothing but booty everywhere. But when that mask came off and that sneeze got in that mouth, she was like, nah, shut it down. She went in the locker room. She telling Uncle Cliff, she said, listen, y'all gonna need some plastic this and some ventilators and some hippo whatever things and a whole bunch of equipment, and y'all gonna have to do this, and I'm gonna be back here in 24 hours. It was like 24 hours? Where we gonna get all this stuff? She said, also, I gotta give you a fine. And the fine is $25,000. So Uncle Clifford is like, I know you from somewhere. And that's the same thing I was saying when she was carrying on. I was like, why does this lady look familiar? She was a bit over the top too. And I'm like, why does she look familiar? Then when Uncle Clifford said, you're the lady who spent your divorce settlement up in here and went to jail, I said, oh, I remember her. So do y'all remember in season 1, the woman who was in there carrying on, spent her money, and went to jail and was in the jail cell singing? That's who that is. I was like, oh, so turns out she works for the health department. So she's telling them $25,000. But when they realized who she was, she got a little embarrassed. She said, okay, hold on. This is what we're going to do. We're going to lower it to 11,000, okay? But y'all still got to get this done in 24 hours. I'm like, wow, 24 hours, that's crazy. So as she's saying that, they're like, okay, this is what we got to do. Then they have this conversation. The ladies have a conversation in the locker room talk or whatever, between Roulette and the stripper Brazil. And Brazil said, listen, I heard you got a little extra activities you doing, and y'all know what she talking about because we saw what Roulette was doing. Roulette be giving out special services for that little extra change. And she just kept running her mouth, and Roulette did not like that. And Roulette beat that girl Brazil down. I mean, she was doing wrestling moves and just dragging her around. Nobody likes to help. Nobody ever helps. Everybody take out their phone and start recording. But then Big L came in there and he broke them up, took Roulette into his office, and he's like, what's wrong with you? And then we learned about her issues with her brother and all that. She said, this ain't no therapy session. You gonna fire me, whatever. He confronted her about, what is it? You really doing stuff. You are doing stuff on the side, ain't you? But she said, but I saw you. And she said, what you doing on the side? So then they had their little conversation. And, it was like, he was like, because, he's doing that sneaking in oxy and all that stuff. And then she said to him, yeah, what you doing on the side? He got a little snippy, but then he said, you always got to be the finesser. You got to be able to finesse the finesser. So that conversation was interesting. We also see that good old saved and sanctified Pastor Woodbine, Mercedes' mama. She's saying that she is going to run for mayor. And, that's going to be interesting. So she's in the running for mayor. I believe Andre is going to run. So it's all getting very interesting. Meanwhile, they're still on tour. We see Mississippi. She's doing her, promoting her new lashes. She's having a good time of her life. And all I keep thinking is, what is her crazy baby daddy Derek thinking right now with his jealous, abusive stuff? I'm like, what is he thinking? They didn't show him tonight, though. They didn't show him. And so as she's saying that, I thought it was funny when Little Murder says, where's my promotion? Where's my promo thing? And when I'm going to get a photo shoot or something like that. And one of the guys joked and said, oh, you want some lashes? I thought that was kind of funny. Now, this episode also tackles violence, the fact with police brutality or murder. There's a murder, and Big Teak is not taking that well at all. So he's grouchy throughout this whole episode, and just real pissed off. And that ends up being something in this episode. He's pissed off. Every time they're trying to have fun or whatever, he's getting all upset and angry. But let's move on. Before we go into that, let me hold that a little bit. Let me move on to Mercedes going over to the coach's house. And when she gets there, Farrah is there. And they have an interesting conversation. And we learn, that Farrah is the one who actually called Mercedes over there. Mercedes does this with her banging body. She does this sexy pole dance for Farrah. Farrah's infatuated with her. And they start, doing all this in each other's face. And then she kind of insults Mercedes at first. And then she confesses to her, I'm the one that brought you over here. This, that, and the third. And they end up in this episode getting it on again. And she asked Mercedes, she said, what happened that you scurried out before? Why did you leave and leave us all not high and dry, all high and wet? And she explained to her what happened, that she had to run and handle something with her daughter. But then they had that conversation, and I'm liking their relationship, and I'm seeing now we getting something is going on. We got this little relationship. She got the coach, and now she got the coach's wife on her. Interesting. Very, very, very interesting. Now, we see Corbin making an offer to Haley, telling her, listen, I'm going to give you, he doubled the offer. She said no. She said, the fact that you came in here and doubled the offer, bruh, I know that means this place is worth much more than that. So she told him, hell to the no, 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 no. She said, no, I'm not doing it. Even though you doubled down on the offer, that means this place is worth much, much more. Now, this is one of the scenes that shocked me, and I did enjoy it. Andre comes home, comes upstairs to see his wife in the room giving head to the other doctor, or what's his name, Donovan or whatever, it don't matter, Dante. She in there having sex with him. And the nerve of people. Well, Andre choked that man, almost choked him to death, choked him out, threw him out the house, buck naked. I said, wow, look at that. The wife had the nerve. You get caught sucking and tipping and dipping, and you have the nerve to say to your husband, where's your mask? Really? Where's your mask? Talk about trying to get off the topic. Where's your mask? Ma'am, you are in here sucking and you talking about where's my mask? He said, you know what? He told her off and he said, I knew this. He said, listen, all this time, he said, that's who your family wanted you with anyway. So, he basically, I think their thing is pretty much over. But he can't be too mad because he was tipping and dipping last season and hunching. But you know how it goes. When you get cheated, you can cheat on somebody, but when they cheat on you, now you all upset. But that was kind of low and grimy. So it's time for y'all to just go on y'all separate ways. But he says to her, he says, listen, I was coming here to tell you that I'm thinking about going and running for mayor of Tuscaloosa. And she's like, what? And then she has the nerve here. She goes, see, my daddy offered you a job and now you want to, listen, don't talk to me right now. I just caught you with your mouth onto another man. Ma'am, you don't get to argue with me. You don't get to argue with me. But she was arguing and she told him, you are going to lose. Now, that wasn't a good thing to do. Ma'am, you've been caught. You've been caught. The least you could do is be a little supportive because he done already caught you. But this gives him more motives to do what? Bounce and leave. So that's what he does. And we see later in this episode when he gets back to Mississippi, he's at the mayor's house. He realizes that he has inherited the house. And the family and them are upset with him. He's inherited the house. And that's going to be his campaign headquarters. So he's running. He's going to be running against Mercedes' mama. It's going to be an interesting race. A very interesting race. Very interesting. So I enjoyed all of that. I said, this show really is going on. It's really doing some stuff. Now, Diamond is back, and Diamond came back because Big L came through and got some African guys. They came and they bringing in supplies and bringing all that stuff and helping the Pink out. And surprise, who comes in but Diamond? And Diamond is here to help and nothing else. He said he's here to help, but Big L told him, we need you back here. We really need you back here. And Diamond said to him, I think you need to leave this place. This place is going to eventually go down. And Big L said, listen, as long as this place is here, I'm here. And he mentioned, his loyalty to Uncle Clifford and all that. And I enjoyed all that. But did y'all catch Big Bone flirting with Diamond tonight? Did y'all catch that? And she said, yeah, he asked her, does she know how to ride? She said, bikes or... I said, oh, shoot. And she told him, you coming or not? Because, now because of this racial tension and this murder that happened, there's a curfew. So because of the curfew, everybody, you got to get in. You're either going to stay at the Pink or wherever you are, you got to stay overnight because there's a curfew now due to the rioting and all the violence and all the things that's going on. And, yeah, really interesting stuff. I like how they incorporated that stuff into here. I thought that was pretty good. So, let's go into Big Teak losing it and carrying on. He's already been upset because he doesn't agree with this whole thing about the cops killing that man. But the other guy, he's like, what did he do? But Big Teak is taking this way too, he's taking it very hard. He's like so hard that he makes a scene when, because now they can't do a show, whatever, so they're back at the suite. They're trying to celebrate and party, and he is having a fit because the guy turned the radio off. Turned the news off that was told about the story. He said, why you turn off my news program? The dude said, hold on. You in my suite telling me what to do. Teague started yelling and screaming and carrying on and acting a fool. And this scared Mississippi. This scared her because it made her think of her crazy baby daddy, Derek, all that violence. And she's cowering down. The other girl, the homegirl, she wasn't happy. She's like, I'm not scared of you. He said, get your white ass on up out of here. Yelling at her, doing all that. She said, I ain't scared of you, whatever. They had to escort him out. Now, I don't like no party pooper. He was doing too much. I understand how you feel, and I agree with your point of view. I didn't agree with the other guy's point of view. But All of that was, come on, you doing too much, bro. So he leaves the room, and then he goes to Little Murder's room. And this is when I didn't see this coming, but one of y'all in the comment section, was that you, Tanae? Somebody said to me that Big Teak and Lil Murder was lovers in the past. And because remember last week in my review, I said, how is Big Teak gonna take this when he finds out that Lil Murder is gay? But I guess he already knew, because when they had their little conversation, first of all, Lil Murder's in the room, in the bathroom, going over his rhymes. Big T come in here and starts pissing. And the way Lil Murder looked at him and then looked at his thing, I said, oh, hold on, bro. What's going on here? And then they had this conversation, which was a really good conversation, where he was saying, I feel like being black is just like there's no win for you, no matter if you a rich black, a poor black, or this black. Well, he was saying the N-word, but I'm saying black. A rich black, a poor black, or this black. You're just still black in this world. And then we saw Lil Murder comfort him, and then Lil Murder did more than comfort him. Then he kissed him. The next thing I know, they start getting it on. I said, oh, I was wrong. And what I thought he already knew, turns out, I think that was you, Tanae, or somebody. You were right. They are lovers. I said, wow, okay. I didn't see that coming. I really didn't see that coming, But then, what it makes it even more interesting was the morning after. It's morning and we slept the night away. Big T is he already up. He got the postcard, because remember, Lil Murder wrote a postcard that he was going to give to Clifford. He said, who's Clifford? I said, oh, he jealous. He said, when I was away, you ain't never wrote me no postcard. I said, oh, shoot. This is a mess right here. This is some mess right here. I said, oh, boy, Big Teak is big jealous. He is jealous. He said, like I said, if that is morning and we slept the night away, then I find a postcard to somebody else. What's going on here? That took me, that cracked me up. That really cracked me up. I was like, wow, Big Teak is like, what's this? So I said, oh, shoot. This is going to be, Then we see back at the pink, Mercedes' mama, the deacon, the reverend, whatever she is. She's on the news praying and saying we got this whole strong and all of this. And that's when we see Roulette, and we learn more about Roulette. Roulette's crying because she's remembering her brother who was killed by the police, and her brother's name is Jeremiah. And she had that conversation. And I thought that was interesting. There I go, Jeremiah. See, I'm wrong. Demethrius. Her brother's name is Demethrius. Sorry about that. And I thought that was a good scene too. We're learning about her. She's not, that's what I like about these shows. These people are not just, oh, it's just a stripper. They're not one-dimensional characters. They have backstories and issues and trauma that they're dealing with. And that's why I like this show. It's not just because of the booty and the fine women. It's because there's a story behind it. Because, a lot of stripper shows, they just booty, and they're one-dimensional characters. But on this show, they're not one-dimensional. They have flesh. The characters are fleshed out. And that is what I really enjoy about this. I really enjoy. Now, let's get to a scene that I forgot to mention. That white girl's name is Gidget. That was Gidget that had visited Mississippi, a.k.a. Keyshawn. That's who it is. Her name is Gidget. She's sending Gidget off. Now we go back to the pink. And Andre is having a conversation with Haley, Autumn Night. And he's telling her about, and that was funny when he first came in there, when Uncle Clifford said to him, you look like somebody whose wife just cheated on him. Like, you're right, Uncle Clifford. So now he's telling her what happened, what his wife did or whatever. And he said he's running for mayor Then they started talking, and she said, yeah, homeboy came over here and offered me this, and this one offered me that. And she said, I do plan to sell this place. But what she didn't know was Uncle Clifford was listening the whole time. And then Mercedes walks in, and he's like, shh, look out there. And they hear the whole conversation about everything. And Mercedes is ready. He said, no, wait. They went out there, confronted her, you raggedy, this what you plan on doing? And she's like, listen, we could take this money and move, you could take the money and move the pink somewhere else. Come on, we got to do, eventually we're going to have to sell. That they had this conversation. He is through with her. He was so disgusted. And a line that I liked tonight was when Mercedes said to her, she said, you know what? Now I understand what that dude said when he said, you're easier to love, but even easier to hate. I said, wow. Was it that? Wait, let me look at my notes, y'all. Let me see. What did he say? That's right. You're an easy bitch to love, but an easier bitch to hate. That's what she said. I said, ooh. So the pink is still shut down, y'all, because she came back. Lauren came back and was like, y'all still not up to code. I hate to do this to y'all. Get your stuff together, y'all. Here's what you got to pay. You still got a few more things to do. You need to get your stuff together, and then the place can be open. But right now, you're still closed. So this was good, y'all. This was a really good episode. We got all this tension. Like I said, we got Uncle Clifford and Autumn with all of that. We have this whole Big Teak and Lil Murder lovers. What's going to go with that story? I'm like, oh man, this is so good. All these people running for mayor. I thought it was really good. This was a really good episode. And that scene, I think the funniest part to me was Big Teak saying, who's this Clifford? You ain't never sent me no postcards. I think that was my favorite of the night. I think that was my favorite. But anyway, tell me your thoughts. What did you think of tonight's episode? Where do you think it's going, y'all? I thought this was really good. But that's all I have for now. Before I start ranting and raving, thank you for watching. Make sure you leave me some comments. Tell me what you thought about tonight's episode. And I will see you all in the next video. And you all be blessed.